Morning, everybody. Welcome back to When Saturdays Come with me. Dry, bright, a bit of a morning after the night before. I'm just wondering how you a lot feeling this morning. I'm not feeling any different, if I'm honest. Um, Sometimes when you give it a little bit of time for it to sink in and digest it and let things stew across in your mind and let you know what's going off down at Bramall Lane, and I've done that. So I've not changed my mind on what it were absolute total shambles, weren't it? And I can't get me this new system. I don't know what it is he's trying to play. And I revert back to what he said when he first joined the club, and he talked about all this high pressure, high intensity football. And the problem is with all that is we've got opposition, we've got good opposition, or don't allow you to play that way. So we're struggling, aren't we? So I guess that what is his plan B? I don't seem to be able. I sit next to the director's box, right, and I see what they see looking down on pitch, and I've got my forever seat there, and I can tell you now, when I was looking across to my left, looking at their faces, they were checking their heads like everybody else, and the body language speaks for itself, not just about with the players, but the people who sit in the director's box. There were a lot of glum faces yesterday, I can assure you of that. But so what do we do with this? With how long do we give Ruben Sayers the way we're playing? I cannot see. I'm trying to work out, when I'm looking down on that pitch, a system which he says he likes to play: high press, high intensity, and I didn't see any of that. I saw us building up from back across back four again. I don't like that system. It seems to me to brings pressure onto you. I know there's they like to play it that way. Some clubs are not good enough to play it that way. Players are not good enough to play it that way. And what's happening down at Bramall Lane at minute, whatever system he's trying to put across to the players, it's not working, right? I can see with the body language of the players. Yesterday, Ruben Sayers and his staff rotated between themselves, putting orders out to the players. It weren't just Ruben Sellers on the sidelines. It was two of his coaching staff as well, barking orders out to the players, trying to get the message across. But it's just not working, is it? And I don't understand why it's not working. Whether it's because they don't get it, or they don't understand it, or whether they I don't know. I can't get my head around it. Whether they it must be going off in the background, either in training, or it's not going in, or they don't understand it, or they can't play it, or they're not good enough to play it, or whatever. Is there a plan B towards all this? I ain't got a clue, because whatever it is, it's not acceptable. You know, last season we started with a 2-point deficit, right? And we've already lost 4 games, 3 league games. So what does that already tell you? We're in deficit straight away. Nil points, no points, going nowhere, devoid of ideas on the pitch. I give him a bit of credit in second half. Without doubt, we had a goal. We hit post. We were a bit unlucky. Keeper pulled off some great saves. No problem with that. That's they're doing their job, keeper. That's what I expect him to do. But when's it going to change? How is it going to change? Who's going to change it? Are we going to be stuck with this system? I just can't get my head around how. What is it? Tyrone Campbell is isolated up front, getting no service whatsoever, nil. So how do we score goals? How do we create goals? Only chances we're creating goals is from long shots, from out at box. Louis Barry, or Harrison Burrows having a pop outside box, Heyman having his pop outside box. There's nothing created. I just don't see how he's trying to create square pegs, round holes, players playing out of position, Cannon out on right, One on left when he comes up, out wide. I don't get it. These are our strikers who are capable of scoring goals. Cannon can score goals, but he's playing out of position. So we've got a winger on bench, and you don't bring him on. You know, Brooksy flatters to deceive out on right hand side. He's not a winger either. I know. I'm not buying into it. I'm not buying into it. I can't. I'm more than happy if I see some progression, or there is some. It looks if it might work, or having a bit of bad luck here and a bit of bad luck there, and they're trying to create it, but there isn't. It's nothing. There's nothing there. They're going through the motions on the pitch, aren't they? The players. I'm not saying they're down in tools. I know they're trying their best, but they look a frustrated lot. They look a frustrated squad, and it's noticeable with the body language. You can see they're very frustrated. So, I want to know from you lot. I mean, I can tell you what I see on pitch. The board made a change. They chose to make that change. Why they chose Sayers, I don't know. I have the reasons behind that. Whether he's just a yes man, or he talks about analytics and he's into this AI system where Chris Wilder might not have been, or whatever reason they chose him. Let's not forget, he got sacked at Reading, he got sacked at Hull, right? For whatever reason, he did a job in a way. To some point, they had difficulties at these clubs. But what is it? I'm trying to get my head around the board actually seeing him that suggests that he's going to get us into Prem. Who? I mean, what? Can somebody come on? You don't get nothing. You don't get anything. No comments whatsoever from the board. And we pay our money. We pay our season ticket money. The fans come in. Over 20-odd thousand people come to that ground, 25,000 plus, and we get no feedback whatsoever from the board. They've been repeatedly asked. They should come out. They should make a statement, explain to us, whether it's Steve Bettis's, the mouthpiece, or whatever it is, and just explain to the fans what is the short, medium, and long-term future of Sheffield United. Because we've got from 92 points, just missed out on promotion. We were 10 minutes away, and now we're stuck in the bottom of the league or the championship, back to the bad old days, where it's not looking any better than it were before when Chris Wilder took 2016. We're going back to them days again, and it's not acceptable. We don't want that. We've been there. We've done that. We've worn the T-shirt. We know what comes. We know how this is going to end up. We really know how this is going to end up. The board know it. I know it. Everybody, all the fans know it. And if it doesn't change, there's got to be a change. And it's a results-based industry. And there's only one way this is going to end up if it carries on. I am prepared to give him 10 or 12 games. If we're still like this after 10 or 12 games, the season is done. We're fighting a relegation battle, and we don't want to be fighting a relegation battle, do we? We've been there before, and it's unpleasant watch. We don't need it. We're better than that. We've got players on the pitch who are capable of playing in the top six, but we haven't got a system that works. And what is it? Again, I keep looking at highlights, and I'm trying to work out in my head how we trying to play, right? Where's the creativity coming from? Aware runs his socks off. Going down blind alleys. Pecky don't look the same player as he was before. Campbell looks a forlorn striker who looks absolutely fed up with situation. Hamish gets frustrated and gets booked. That's telling you. That's telling you all the story, isn't it? We're bringing players in, which is great. I accept that. I think they're the right players to come in. We don't need to get the defence sorted out. There's no question about that. And that's the way it is. And the defence is one thing, but creativity is another thing. Scoring goals is another thing. and we've got none of them right at minute, and it's just got. We've had a pre-season. We obviously, I've already related to this about the teams that we played pre-season. They don't test you; they're just for fitness. Now we're getting tested in Championship with this system. Opposing managers, opposing clubs at this level do their own work. They know how to play against this system, whatever it is, right? They understand how to close this system down, and they will come and frustrate you. They'll play to their strengths, and with the way we play, we are not capable of breaking teams down. We cannot score. The last goal we scored, we're aimers. How many shots have we had on goal? How many chances have we made? It's practically zero, and it's just we've played 3 league games and a cup game, and none of it has been acceptable. It's just been poor watch. I haven't got. I'm just a fan like everybody else, and I'll come on here and I'll make videos and I'll do live streams and I'll put my feelings across, and I like to talk about Blades, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. And if opposition teams rock up and does a good job on us and beats us fair and square, and we've played well, I ain't got a problem. I ain't got a problem if any of my players go on that pitch and give 100% and we lose. I ain't got a problem with that. What I don't like is what we see now, and it's just absolute. No system, no plan. We look devoid of ideas. The body language is telling us it all, and it's just not good enough, is it? And we really need to understand where we're going with it, because I don't know, and I'm sure the players don't know either, and it's frustrating to watch. Can I just mention one thing, by the way, because it's really important, about the France Advisory Board put out a comment on standing areas. I don't know if you see it. I wrote it down so on it. If you sit on COP, rows NN to AF, they're going to be affected where you're going to be sitting or standing, if that's what you want to do. And in Bramall Lane lower tier, block H to part of block G, excluding disabled areas. So they're there. If you want to look at that on Plans Advisory Board, have a look at that. It's important that if you sit in those areas and you want to stand up, and it's rows NN to AF on the COP. Okay, Dale, how are you? Good morning. Nice to see you. Teams look fitter than us. Thanks for liking the channel, Dale. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. I really enjoy reading people's comments when I do the videos. I get lots of comments from opposition fans as well. It's really appreciative that they like the channel, and I get some great feedback. So long may it continue. Thank you for that. Teams look fitter than us. Yeah, they probably do. I mean, whether they look fitter than us because of the system that we're playing, they shouldn't be fitter than us, should they? Because at the end of the day, we train like anybody else. We've got fitness coaches. They should be able to last 90 minutes. Most of them do. But I think you always look better and fitter if you're confident and you're playing well. And if you're playing well, the confidence oozes and you'll run through brick walls, and whatever. But at this moment in time, it's just like, where are we going to get the next goal from? Where's the creativeness coming from? Who's going to create it? I can't. When I look down on pitch, I look straight down on pitch from halfway line, and I'm looking at it, and I'm thinking, right, what is the system? Who's playing where? Right? Where's the creativity coming from? We've got a player in Canada on right hand side who's not a winger, right? Our other strength is Louis Barry on left, which is correct. So why we've got a talented up and coming youngster, Yukaki. Right, I know he's a young lad. He's probably inexperienced, but he's a natural winger. So why can't we play him? Give him a go. Even if he plays him for 60 minutes, if it don't work, it don't work. It's no difference if you're playing a player like Cannon out on right or Brooke, which they're not right wingers. They're not natural players to play. Square pegs, round holes, as I call it, as most people call it. So it don't work, does it? And so we should be playing a plan B, like a 4-4-2 or a 4-3-3 or whatever it is. Morning, Jamie. Thanks for joining us. But it's just where is this going? I know where it will end up. We've all seen this before. I mean, I'm an older fan. I can remember the old David Weir, the old David Weir manager, and they said that at the time he was way ahead of his time and he was a good coach. But we've got a similar situation again. Great ideas, but the point is they're not transpiring onto the pitch. Whatever that system is, this high intensity, high press, it doesn't seem to be working. So if the opposition are not allowing you to do that, what is plan B? So, Jamie, you're right. I do agree with you. If we're not careful, we could end up in League One. Yeah, absolutely, we could. We're not entitled. We're not entitled because with Sheffield United, we're a big club. We've been there before. I remember back in old days, we end up in Division 4 and old League 2, and that we're going back way back. But we're a championship side with championship players who've got a manager who's got a system, who's got an idea of a way to play, which is not working. So where do we go from here? Yeah, Dale, yeah, I agree with that. UK looked okay again. He did look okay. But they're not giving him a chance, are they? And I get there's a reason behind that. So what we actually bought him for as a right winger, putting him in the squad, and he's not playing. Answers in the comments because I can't work it out. I agree. We're getting the defence right. Absolutely spot on that we're getting the quality defenders in that we want. We're spending a bit of money to get in there. Absolutely, we're right. We should be. That's going to be great if we can shore up the defence. I'm sure that one or two players will go out. I was surprised to see RND on bench yesterday. Allegedly, he was down at QPR and working out a deal. Now, whether that we just delayed that until after the weekend, until we got Tanganga tied up, and then he'll let him go. So I expect him, if it's right, he'll probably end up going. So I would expect him, if me signs in the week, which I think they'll get on with that. That's the other thing. Can I just say about Ben Mee? We've got a player who's been training with us for a week, right? Who's got experience in Premiership, with Brentford, experience with Burnley, right? Hundreds of games he's played, an experienced guy, and they're faffing around with him, having a week's training. If it's good enough, get him signed up, and he could have played yesterday, and they're mucking about with him, doing training. It might be just to test out, see if his fitness is right before they offer him something. That's fair enough, but they don't want it. They know what he's capable of doing, and we need the experience to help these youngins. So get him signed, get him done. So we've got Niels in as well. We've got Ben Godfrey in. We've got Tanganga in. Hopefully, we're tied up tomorrow. So we've got the defence sorted out. What we really need now is another winger, another striker. The system needs sorting out. Morning, Robbie. No way Bournemouth, but let Billing anywhere near this side. We can wave that one away. Yeah, probably right. Billing is a good player, but money talks like in everything, doesn't it? It really does. It's a money-based business, football. Players try and get the best deals that they can. Clubs trying to get the best deals that we can. I'm not saying Billing will join. I really don't. So what you got to say, Jamie? Yeah, Jamie. Why them not playing him? Can't work it out. Correct. He may start next Saturday. We just need a new team. I don't think we need a new team, Jamie. I think we need a system. We've got good players in our squad, right? We need a system to suit our players. Whatever Ruben is trying to get across to our players, it's just not working. And whether the message is not getting across, whether it's not clear, and I said earlier, you see managers on touchline barking orders out and putting the instructions out. Yesterday, we had 3 people, Ruben Sayers and his backroom staff, 2 of them, in rotation, barking orders out to players to get the message across. So why is that? Why do you need 3? Is it because one is doing the defensive duties, one's doing the midfield duties, one's doing whatever? I don't know. I couldn't answer it. It's the first time I've actually seen that happen. So obviously there is a communication problem, or the players are not getting it, or they don't understand it, or what they're into plan B or a plan C. You've got to have a system. Teams have got to be able to rotate when you're on a pitch to different systems, whether you're playing 4-2-4, 4-3-3, 4-2-2-3, whatever you want to call it, whatever system that you want to play, you've got to be able to swap and change your system now when you're playing against opposition who'll just shut you down. Millwall played to their strengths, had a big brute up front who give Robbo a hard time. They played reasonably well first half. They shut us down. They played to their strengths and they did the job on us. And you can't. I'm not going to criticise Millwall. I'm not. Any team what comes to Bramall Lane and turns us over, fair and square, I ain't got a problem with. Good luck to them. But my concern is where we are now. How long do we give Ruben Sayers now? I put it out there, 10 or 12 games. And after 10 or 12 games, generally the league table doesn't lie. You are where you are, and this is where it starts to shape. The league table starts to shape up, and we know what we're up against. Our expecting us, in all truth, to be at least in top 6, top 10 now. Where we are, we can't win every game. It's impossible to win every game. No team wins every game. But what I'm seeing now is a team which is devoid of confidence and playing a system which doesn't suit the players that we've got. Yes, Jamie, they were better than us at first half, Millwall. Absolutely, of course they were, 100%. And in the second half, we played okay. In parts, we played okay. I am not sure whether... Do you know what? I was listening to Ruben Sayers' presser at end. He said he didn't change anything in second half from first half. What do you mean he didn't change anything from first half to second half? Was it because we got better, or was it Millwall dropped off, or was it we put more effort in? I said to you, I keep saying this, and you all know you're not daft. If you keep doing the same old thing the same way all the time, you're going to get the same results. And we'd keep doing the same old thing. If he's not changing it, and we're doing the same old things, we still lost. So we've lost 4 games. So we keep playing the same old way, keep doing the same old things. You're going to get the same old results, and nothing changes, does it? So I don't know the answer. I'm as frustrated as much as every other Blades fan out there, and I just don't know what the answer is. I could come on here. I had tons of comments going down Shoreham Street end of game about. I know you can't look back about Chris Wilder and all the rest of it. I had some interesting comments. I can't really repeat on it, but whatever problems or issues that Chris Wilder had, and why they sacked him for whatever reason, wanted to go down a different route. I know Chris has said he hasn't got any problems with it, fair dues, and all the rest of it. They want to move on and go down a different route. Well, clearly, this different route at this conjuncture ain't working. So how long are you going to give him? Right? And the longer it goes on, we've got Middlesbrough next week, who are on fire. We've got Ipswich who'll come down from Prem, right? Who've got a good squad. Where do we see our first win coming from? Playing like we're playing. Can anybody tell me? Because I don't know. I can't. I'm just trying to work it out in my head that where's a win coming from? Jamie, what I take my son to his first game yesterday, but he said, "What are we doing here?" Oh, yeah, I think 25,000, 26,000 fans were thinking that. Jamie, what here? I mean, I reckon the players on the pitch will be thinking, "What am I doing here?" Honestly, they'll be knocking on their agent's door. They'll be ringing up saying, "Get me out." Exciting football, which last season, aren't we? Completely different, and they just majority of players are still there, and so they don't become bad players from 4 games into a season and looks as if they can't even play a game of football. Do you know? Do you know what I mean? It's just like madness. It's really madness. I can't get my head around it, honestly. So we've got another week of the transfers. Who do you guys want to see coming in now? I mean, I'm looking for another winger coming in. I'm looking for certainly another forward coming in. That they're the first things. The second things is I want to see a system that we can play. It's all right bringing players in that you want, but they've got to be able to play the way Ruben says wants them to play, and clearly they're not. And this is enough. Enough is enough. And I've seen enough. I know I've heard other people out there. I've seen it on other channels. I've watched other channels, and we're all pretty much saying the same things. And we all do this because we love doing what we're doing, and we enjoy talking about Blades. And we don't good, bad, or indifferent. And it's great to do, but oh my God, I can't carry on getting frustrated. It's Spalsy weekend when we lose, don't it? And nobody likes it. Jamie, have the new player from Millwall come to United? I think it's almost done, Jamie. I'm pretty sure that we've agreed a deal around 10 million. We had add-ons and stuff like that. So I expect Tanganga to be announced tomorrow. He might change his mind after watching that yesterday. He might think, "What the hell am I doing?" He could, and it does happen, by the way. You won't blame him, would you? I mean, Millwall fans were giving him some stick yesterday. Tanga, what's the score and all that, and he can't blame him. I'll come back on train. I'll have in Chesterfield, and I come back on St Pancras train yesterday, and loads of Millwall fans were on the same train back to London. And I'm there with my t-shirt, my Blades hoodie on, and Sheffield United on, and they come and sat with me and all chatty and give me a bit of lip, and not nastily. They're having a bit of banter, and they were saying, "What the hell's happened to you? What's happened to what's you're not the old Sheffield United that we expected us to be up against." But they were confident yesterday they would come up and get a result. All of them, they were all saying we thought we'd be able to get a result yesterday. And win today, and they were right. And they were looking forward to coming up to Bramall Lane. Why did questions were, why did you sack Chris Wilder, a great manager, blah, 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 blah. Who's this muppet you've got in now? And all. I'm not calling him that, by the way. They were. But and they were saying all that. And so they're not daft, have they? So, crikey, yeah, Jamie, it can happen. And I hope it doesn't happen because we need him, don't we? So, I'll tell you what I want. I want the board to come out. I want the Steve Bettis to come out. I want him to come out and explain this, why this is happening. What is it? What is the short-term, medium, and long-term view of the football club at the minute? I know the long-term would be get back into Prem. We've got this is the last season of parachute payments. Right? Use them wisely. We've got money in from Anel. We've got money in from Sousa. We've got money in from Kiefer Moore. And you've got to spend it. You've got to use it. And we've got to use it wisely and bring players in to improve the squad, which obviously defensively, we need to do that. Why was Samari who didn't play yesterday? Were he carrying an injury? Sidney Peck is not the same player as he were last year. He's took over from Vinny Sousa. Pecky, I'm not saying he can't do the job, but he's a young lad. He's still learning trade, and he's not the same. He's not Vinny Sousa. He's not the same size as Vinny Sousa. Samari is. He's a bit more bigger lad. So I don't know why he didn't play yesterday. He might have been carrying an injury. He weren't even used off at bench. So that's the other thing is we never got an answer for that either. But Ruben says at this moment in time, He seems quite happy. He says, "I'm not worried. I'm not worried. We'll keep working hard. We'll keep giving it everything. We'll keep working 100%. We'll keep working hard on training ground." But it's still not working. You can work as much as you can put in as much effort in you want to when you're in training. You can drill it into your players whatever you want. But if they're not doing it on pitch, or they don't want to do it on pitch, or they can't do it on pitch, or we ain't got a plan B, explain that. Because if you're happy, you'll keep happy with doing what you're doing. Try telling us that fans we're not happy what you're doing, right? Because it ain't working, is it? So what are you going to do next? You know? Oh God. What's that? Where all the money gone? Love to know. Well, I don't know how much money we've got. I don't know how much money owners have got. They said they did actually say to Ruben Sayers, and Ruben Sayers put this out in a presser saying he could have uh, most of the money to buy on players, right? Fair, oh, yeah, he probably has. If it's right on so much on Tanganga, so much on Niels Zatterstrom, so much on Ben Godfrey, they might say they will have paid fees, but if you get a freebie in or a loan, they're not free. It still cost you in wages. There's nothing free. It might sound like a free signing, or Ben Godfrey's come on a season-long loan, but he'll be on big wages. We'll be paying that. You were reported. I'm not saying it is. You're on 60 grand a week. We'll be paying half for that. So, I mean, it's a gamble you take. And whether he's an upgrade on Anel, I don't think he is. But it's something that he's somebody that we need to shore up defence. He's a centre back rather than a right back. I feel. I think he'll probably end up playing right back if Zetterstrom plays, Ben Mee might play. So Tanganga's got to come in. Does that mean? I mean, I'm sure R&D will go out. Does that mean Robbo's going to go out? I think he probably will. I don't think he wants to be here, does Robbo? So I think there's every possibility that Robbo could leave at end of week. But I think it's going to be a very interesting week, isn't it, for everybody? I think I'm going to be making a few phone calls for the people I know. I'm going to try and find out what's happening. I have to be careful what I say sometimes on whether it's live or I do a video. But at this moment in time, there's a lot of people shaking their heads, and us fans are no different, are we? So I want to know what's going off, and I'm sure everybody else does, don't they? So we'll wait and see on that. Excuse me, my nose is was that mean we're going to be having an argument, but there you go. But anyway, look. If anybody's got any ideas or any thoughts or any comments, please put them in, and I'll try and answer them as best I can, because it's just frustrated. I'm a frustrated blade at the minute. Like all you guys out there, I don't know where it's going to end up, but it's got to change sooner rather than later. I've always said I'm prepared to give managers a chance, players a chance. No doubt about that. I am. I don't know how long I can't. I will give him probably a couple of more games. If unless the board changes their mind, they might answer that question sooner rather than later. But we'll wait and see. I don't know whether we'll get any comments coming out from board this week or from anybody at all. They've kept quiet long enough. There's no reason why they should come out again and start talking just because we're losing. They probably don't want to. You can't blame them, but they are the caretakers of our football club now. They should listen to the fans. I know we've got a fans advisory board and all that, but I know Radio Sheffield and Daniel, the chief reporter, have all asked the question: will you come out and do an interview? And they've not. They put their own presser out there and just said, they're not, or whatever. They don't, and they should. They should come out and just say to us, this is where we're going. This is what we want to do. This is how we're going to let it ride out. Are we going to keep with him? Are we going to sack him? Are we going to replace him? Are we going to replace him with potentially? There's lots of managers out there, Steve Coopers and all them who are capable of doing a better job than this guy. They are. Now, whatever reason they chose him, I don't know. But all the proof is always in the pudding at the end of the day, isn't it? Always. Results do not lie. The league table does not lie. The performances on the pitch do not lie. We can see with our own eyes what is happening on the pitch. And if we can see it, the owners can see it, the players can see it, the manager can see it. So where does it go from here? Because right now, it's not acceptable. It's not acceptable at all where we are in the league. We've got a team, our neighbours at Wednesday, they're up the creek financially with their football club, and they are higher up in the league table than us. And fair play to them to do that. And we are rock bottom, guys. Rock bottom, and it's not good enough. It's not good enough, and we need to change that very, very quickly. So my message out there to the board, if you're listening or you're watching, which I doubt, but if you are, make a decision, do something, come out and say either back him or sack him or whatever you're going to do. I want to know what we're doing here because nobody else is telling us anything. I see it to my left when I look in the director's box and see people on the board or whatever shaking their head, looking glum. There is an answer to that. Crack on, get it done. And if you're not going to do it, just at least tell us what's happening. And I'm just interested to see this next week when transfer window ends on September 1st. Who are we going to get in? It's going to be make or break. Once that September bell rings and we've got the squad that we want and it settles down, is it going to get any better than it is now? So we've got to wait and see. I suppose we've got to be patient, haven't we? I don't know. I'm just like, does my head in. It does my head in. I don't like to see this. I've got used to my team, my club, from the Premiership to rock bottom at Championship in a few years. This is not acceptable. End of. So let's just hope we can rebuild. Ruben says either gets this system to work. I don't know what it is. All this high pressure, high intensity, whatever it is, I have not seen it. And I'll tell you one thing. I'll tell you another thing. For nothing, the opposition won't let it happen either. So what is your plan B? Because I want to know, and the fans want to know, the players want to know, because the body language is telling me that they don't want to know either. So that's the way it is. Guys, I'm going to wrap it up because we had 40 minutes on live. I'm still getting used to doing this live stuff, by the way. I've been sort of putting some test videos out to see what it's like, live streams. I've managed to get a bit of kit now to be able to do it more landscape. So I hope it's coming across a lot better. We had a few sound issues yesterday. I don't know what happened. I couldn't work it out. I think I got to the bottom of it. I think it was because my phone were next to it. I think it was picking up singles like working like a two-way thing. I think that might have been answer to it. So I've just done it obviously different today and planned it a little bit better. I've still got a lot to learn on it. I'm still learning, right? So bear with me. Have a bit of patience if you can. Keep supporting the channel. Please like and subscribe as always. It's going great. Since we started doing this back in January, I didn't expect it to be where it is today. Honestly, I didn't. Like Blades Ramble with Jimmy, great channel, and all the other channels like Sheffield United Way and Just United and Travelling Blade. All these. If I haven't missed anybody out, I'm sorry. I'll give them all a shout out because they all do a great job for you fans out there. To give you the info that you want if you can, and come and chat, make communities, make friends like we do in Triple Point every home game. If you want to come down to Triple Point, have a beer, have a chat, talk about the game, please do that. Or at Fan Zone, if you see you, come and say hello. We appreciate it. We all do, and it's great to be able to talk to your fans and have a beer and talk about the game and what we think and the team and all the rest of it. And it's a great community that we have amongst everybody, and it's brilliant. Absolutely, I'll tell you, it's great to have. You'll make new friends if you want to make new friends and meet new Blades fans. It's great. It's a brilliant thing to do. So, guys, thank you for watching. We've done 40 minutes this morning. I'm gonna enjoy the rest of my day if I can. Try not to think too much about this. I'll keep my nose to the ground. We'll watch this space, what's happening down at Blades. I'm sure there'll be some info coming out in the next few days on transfers, incomings and outgoings. I'll come on and feed that to you as and when. And we'll see what happens next week. So keep your chins up, guys. It's really appreciated. Yesterday, up the Blades, mate. Up the Blades, absolutely. We all Blades, aren't we? No matter what, we all stick together through thick and thin. It's important that we do that and we've got to get behind the team. Let's not. I know we are in a bad place at the minute, but we still got to support the team. That's what we go. That's what we do. We Blades, aren't we? We all Blades. So we've got to stick together, and hopefully we'll try and get up that league table soon, and it's going to look a lot brighter, a lot better. People will be in a better mood, and I can talk about positive things rather than negative things, because I can't think of anything positive to come out of yesterday's game or the last 4 games. There's only one good thing what's come out of this season so far, right? And that's the goal of the season from Gus Amer. That's only been the highlight of the season so far. We'll probably not see that again this year, unlikely anyway. But thank you for watching the live stream this morning, guys. Appreciate your time. It means a lot. It really does. I appreciate your comments and your time. Please like and subscribe. I'll talk to you again in due course. Thanks for watching. Up the Blades, and I'll speak to you soon.